Welcome back to Becoming Homo-Galacticus. In this installment, we're diving into a paradox that sits at the heart of the call of this channel and spiritual evolution more broadly expressed. We're often told to raise our frequency to access higher dimensions. Yet, the deeper teachings speak of spirals of going inward, not upward. Let's explore how we reconcile this apparent paradox and why does it matter for our collective transition into open contact with our galactic family. Before diving into the paradox, I want to take a sidebar here and talk about the limitation of words to express any of these concepts. All language is limited, especially when attempting to convey concepts that exist beyond time and space. Words and metaphors are vital tools for understanding, but they're not the truth itself. They're maps, not the territory. To hold on too tightly to the words is to risk mistaking the symbol for the reality that it points to. So let the language guide, but don't let it confine you. The experience lies beyond the syntax. So we invite you to keep that in mind during all of these communications. So now back to the topic at hand. So when speaking in spiritual terms, the idea of raising one's frequency comes up a lot. The metaphor evokes the notion of a climb, a vertical ascent toward enlightenment. What if a more accurate metaphor is to think in terms of coherence? Raising frequency means increasing coherence. What if it's less about altitude than it is about resonance? High frequency means your field is stable, clear, less prone to distortion. It's not about going up, it's about tuning in. The spiral is a universal symbol found in galaxies, DNA, seashells, sacred geometry. It evokes the idea of growth, evolution, and points to the recursive nature of consciousness. Unlike the linear symbol of a ladder, the spiral moves inward and outward simultaneously. It is the true path of integration. Inwards towards stillness and self-awareness, outward towards expression and connection. Ascension is not vertical, it's recursive. It's a deepening and expansion of awareness, not a departure from the body or our experiences while embodied. So how do we reconcile this apparent paradox? So the call to raise frequency with the spiral path. Raising frequency, or rather raising coherence, allows us to stabilize in higher dimensional awareness. The metaphor of the spiral points to how that stabilization occurs through cycles of inward reflection and outward integration. They are not contradictory, they are complementary. Raising frequency is the tuning, the spiral is the melody. So imagine a musician tuning an instrument. Raising the frequency is like tuning the strings. Arriving at the optimal tension means more coherence. Playing music is following the spiral of melody and rhythm, inward focus, outward expression. And then continuing further to extend the metaphor, both of them are needed. Without the tuning, the music is noise. But without the playing, the tuning is pointless. So, why does that matter for our collective transition into open contact with our galactic family? It's because higher dimensional beings, our galactic family, do not exist in a place we must travel to. They exist in a frequency band we must resonate with. They do not come down to meet us. We spiral into coherence and meet them in the field of resonance. This is why both raising frequency and following the spiral are essential. Without coherence, we cannot stabilize in their field. Without the spiral, we cannot integrate the contact into our lives. The paradox is not a contradiction, it's a map. Raising frequency is the tuning, the spiral is the path. Together, they prepare us for contact, not solely with other beings, whether they be from around the corner in a terrestrial neighborhood or from the stars in our vast galactic neighborhood, but with the deeper dimensions of ourselves. Let me say that a little different. All those together both enable us to better connect to others, whatever the apparent other is, whether it's the neighbor around the corner in your neighborhood on the block, or to our neighbors in a broader context in the stars. But in looking at it that way, it also enables us to deepen our connection to dimensions of ourselves. So let's embrace the paradox. So it becomes a bridge between dimensions, between timelines, between worlds. As we move towards collective transition, let us remember, ascension is not upward, it is inward and outward. Frequency is not height, it is coherence. The spiral is not a symbol, it is the path. Let us tune together and let us spiral together. And let us prepare together for what comes next. So, if this resonates with you, and oh, by the way, if any of this resonates with you, wonderful. If it doesn't, then set it aside. This is not about proselytizing. This is, if this resonates with you, embrace it, and hopefully you can use it in your life. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't give it a second thought. But if it does resonate with you, let's tune together, let's spiral together, and let's prepare together for what comes next.